Peace and blessings, family. Happy Wednesday. It's Wellness Wednesday. Okay, so we're on a special Earth Bubble Live, and I'm joined by Kenya and Leona. They work for Her Health First, which is an incredible program. It's an incredible nonprofit, but they also have a program called Black Mothers United. And they're going to talk to us today about how our Black women and girls are doing around pregnancy and parenting, if you would. Kenya, Leona, thank you for joining me.
Good
Thank you for having
morning.
us.
Thank you for having me.
So, give me a little bit of history about Black Mothers United.
Well, Black Mothers United started in 2013. We were awarded a grant through First Five Sacramento to provide a cultural broker model of care to African American women in Sacramento County to reduce the infant mortality rate here in Sacramento and also address low birth weight and preterm labor. And what we see happening with Black women and the barriers that they had to care and social services and education as well. And so that's kind of how we got started. We started very small with just 2 pregnancy coaches the first year, and which was myself and one other person. And we did the first pilot year and succeeded our goals, and that put us in position for a 3-year rolling contract. And so from that, we expanded to 6 pregnancy coaches, and we currently have 6 pregnancy coaches. And I'll let Leona kind of share a little bit about what they all do.
Right on.
Good morning. Once again, my name is Leona. I am the senior pregnancy coach for Black Mothers United. So yes, we do have 6 pregnancy coaches. I myself have a caseload of 10. The other pregnancy coaches around 20, no more than 20, a minimum of 15. Right now, pretty much everybody is on their caseload. Even through the COVID, we're still able to recruit. It's hard, but we're still recruiting, getting new moms every day. So we always have to put the word out that if women are looking for the services, we're out there. So like on a day-to-day, we check in, come into the office. Now we're not able to do that, so we're working from home. I'm really not a fan of working from home. I would prefer to be in the office, but I'm getting my job done. It's going really good, really good. We're able to do a lot of referrals, or we're able to still refer out to chicks in crisis. Moms are still receiving the baby supplies they need, the food. We have a lot of connections to get food, and just working in the community, getting the things that we need for all our moms.
Okay, so let's look at this. What is a pregnancy coach?
So my job is to educate and make sure our moms have a healthy baby, and also make sure the mom is healthy, because if the mom is not healthy, the baby's not going to be healthy. So that may mean healthy relationship, her home life, just everything that's involved while she's pregnant.
Right on, right on.
Yeah, and I always say that pregnancy is a short window, right? We get moms at any point where they start their pregnancy, and up to 36 weeks, we can enroll them. And the goal of the pregnancy coach is really to help her deal with her daily stressors. So the things that affect her, we know will affect her baby and affect her pregnancy. And so it's dealing with, okay, what does she need to know to be healthy? How is she eating? How is she sleeping? How is she taking care of her body? What does she need to know? Is she receiving prenatal care? Is she receiving quality pregnancy prenatal care? How is she making it to those appointments? Our pregnancy coaches use their personal cars to transport those moms. Prior to COVID, we've had to adjust since then, but prior to COVID, they used their personal cars to transport them to medical appointments. It could be if they needed if they're breastfeeding and they're having challenges there, then they would transport them to WIC and they get their lactation appointment. Whatever it is, if it's food insecurity, whatever might be going on in the home and in this person's personal life, whether it be mental health, whatever it might be. It's connecting them, building a bridge to connect them to those services and help them with some of the things that we may have internally. And then if not, connect them externally.
So what is happening that Black women would even need to be having services just for them? Like, is there something happening with Black women where we have to focus on them as a group?
Absolutely. We know that African-American women are having babies prematurely at a higher rate than any other race. And that's across the board in the United States. And we know that women also, if you're having babies prematurely, there's a chance of low birth weight as well. The baby could be born in the NICU, which we know has long time effects. It could be learning disabilities and other types of disabilities could come up from a baby being born prematurely. And if a mom is having such as domestic violence or has a lot of different stressors going on in her life or food insecurities and she's not getting the proper nutrients, then we know a baby could then be born of low birth weight. And so we're trying to prevent that from happening because it is happening in our community at a higher rate than any other ethnicity. And so that is why our women need the attention. There's barriers that, systematic barriers that have been in place for many years and still today. And we're trying to give our women the opportunity to know what's going on, to build a community around these women so that they become their own advocates and then also advocates for their own community.
Right on. What are some of the needs that Black women are having during a Black woman find out or a girl find out that she's pregnant? What are some of the needs that arise almost immediately?
Transportation, most like transportation, baby supplies, mental health, just having a lot of times it's just that they need somebody to talk to. And so that's pretty much like when they come to our office, the setting is it's not like any other office. They can come in there, and if they got a whole big suitcase of problems, they're able to unload that. And we work through that, whether it be they can come in every day and we try to figure this out and work it out with them, or they can just come, by every other day. But whenever they come, we're there for them. And so like now that we have COVID, I belong to a group, Baby Bunch, and a lot of women are asking, do they have to only take one person in the hospital with them? And right now it's yes. So they have to make a choice. If they had a doula and they had their partner or their mother, they can only choose one. It's not a good setting. It's not a good feel. The hospital is really cold right now.
So what is a doula?
A birthing coach. So she's in there to help. Kenya can explain it because she's a great doula. But I'm just going there and help the mom through the pregnancy and support her and also advocate for her. Advocate for her because a lot of times
you said it exactly right.
when you go in, I just attended a birth. I just attended a birth and the young lady wanted an epidural, but she was already 8 centimeters. And they were getting ready to give her an epidural. And I said, why would you give her an epidural when she's already 8 centimeters? So I said, she's not going to do an epidural. We'll go ahead and push this baby out. And we did that. So all women need a doula. And it's just having that extra support and that extra mouth, the extra knowledge, the extra experience, just to be in there to support her because she may not know everything.
Right on, right on. Kenya, you were going to tell us a little bit more about what a doula really does.
Yeah, a doula is basically a labor coach. She will work with the mom. Typically, it varies. Some will work with mom at various times during the pregnancy, providing childbirth education and better preparing her for the labor process. And then they typically will attend the birth and help walk them through each stage of their labor and offer suggestions, help them communicate with the medical staffing, help them have better understanding and communicate their needs to that provider. They help them come up with birth plans and basically just help support the family, because sometimes your family members want to be a part of the it's a beautiful thing to see the birth, of a baby someone being born, and everybody wants to celebrate and be a part of that. But not everybody knows how to do that constructively. So the doula can help, guide the other family members in techniques and comfort measures that's going to help assist the mom in labor. So it's not always about the doula coming in and doing something. Sometimes it's just about guiding people in the right way to support or being that sole support to that mom when needed.
So with that being said, looking at Black women in pregnancy, what are some of the issues or things that come up when they're in the hospital? Are they receiving, because we talk a lot about the disparities about Black women in pregnancy, and it doesn't adjust whether if you're poor, if you're super educated or rich. What are some of the issues in terms of them receiving services or in delivery when they're in the hospital?
Yeah, well, I would say we do a quarterly baby shower, and the baby shower, we invite those women and we basically have birth storytelling, right? We give them gifts and give them a chance to express what their experience was. I would say a good 80% of the time we are hearing that they did not feel heard while they were in labor, that they felt judged, that their family members felt judged, that there was, I guess, a sense of like heaviness, like there was almost everybody on eggshells waiting for an issue or a problem to happen. And this is a mom just coming in like any other mom to give birth to her child. But there is implicit bias that our women are still dealing with. There's still racism that our women are still dealing with. And a lot of our women are misunderstood. And we shouldn't, it shouldn't be an issue. We should be able to come in our full Blackness and in who we are and be able to express who we are. And especially at a time like that when we're having our babies. And so our moms are still feeling a sense of, that
they
trying to find a place in their worth while having a baby in the world. And a lot of times having a baby for Black women is not always celebrated and looked at as a beautiful thing. And so when they go in and have their babies and they're greeted in that way, it just brings up for that mom all the feelings that she already have that she's trying to suppress.
Rolanda, when you go to the hospital, so during the pregnancy, you may end up going to Mercy San Juan and to labor and delivery. And for the moms that test positive for tox positive, so there's a social worker there. The social worker intends she talks to you, but then she also writes everything down. Any little thing you say, she's writing it down. So then it's time to go to the delivery, to go to another hospital to deliver the baby. And all of what you told her, she wrote it down. And so now these nurses have already read this. And they already, okay, this is a drug. This mom is on drugs. So they're already judging you. I just went through with a young mom who experienced, and it wasn't a really good feeling. It wasn't a good feeling for me to go in there because I seen them whispering. And so it was three of them. When the nurse was trying to take care of the baby, the other head nurse came in, and her exact words, "Did you bag the baby?" And I'm looking at her like, you didn't even have to say all of that. We know the baby's going to be tox positive. Why are you in here making a big deal out of it? Even though it is a big deal, but she could have presented it different. So the nurses cleaned the baby up. And so then another nurse, and then all three of them were all white, and the three nurses go behind the curtain and they're whispering. But here you have a teen mom here that has never given birth. The setting is very cold. If it wasn't for me, then she wouldn't have had nobody there with her. And here you guys are talking her, and she can hear you, because if I can hear it, she can hear it. And it wasn't a good feeling for me. And then you let them they go in the room, and this was at Sutter. There's nobody in the room with them. So this is a teenage mom. She doesn't exactly know how to change the baby. She doesn't know what this cry means, even though she's been through our program. They don't always get it. But it's like, that's what my job is, to try to teach her and educate her and help her along the way, because I know she made a mistake. I can't keep judging her because she made a mistake. And people don't see it like that. They always want to judge. They want to hold your past against you. And at this time, it's like, get over all of that. Let's do what we got to do for today.
So with that being said, what kind of things do Black Mothers United do to help them feel safe, to help them make a plan? Just because you start off somewhere don't mean that's where you got to end up. So I know y'all really good at doing that. What kind of things do you offer them so that even though people are going to judge you, because that's just how society is, what things do you all do to help them be better mothers, prepare for their children, make sure their kids have the best start that they can give them? What other things do y'all do?
So we connect all the dots. We also, in our at our site, we have monthly mommy mingles. And just because we have a monthly mommy mingle, we still meet with our moms weekly for at least 30 minutes. Nobody's visit is 30 minutes. Our moms come in and they want to talk, and they want to, Miss Leona, I need this. Miss Leona, I need this. Miss Leona. So therefore, we got to connect the dots. She may need mental health. She may need services on the north side. She may need services in the east side. So then we have to be able to take those women to them appointments. And it's just like, when they come in, you got to make them feel like they are somebody. You really,
because they are.
They are.
They have to start believing it. Those that don't believe it, you know. Wow. I'm gonna back up to and piggyback on what Leona was saying. Mommy Mingle is one of our ways of bringing our ladies together, and what we do is it's a way to practice put into practice some stress relieving activities. So we usually will find some kind of craft or something, you know, that we done figured out how to do, something that's simple, that don't cost a lot of money, with some things that might be already around your house, and start tinkering with things and come up and make things. And that, we know, is a stress reliever. We feed them, because you know you got to feed folks when you bring them together. And we always have raffle gifts for those moms. That's one of the ways that we can give them some things, make them feel a part of it. And so we usually have a guest that might have a topic, a particular subject that they want to share about, or a service that they want to share about. And then we find out about a lot of services through our moms. So it's not always what we're giving, it's what they already have, and they're sharing with the other moms too. So that's one of the ways that we provide services. We also have a car seat safety class. We partner with Danielle Lawrence Art and Arcade site. One of her educators out there comes out to our site. She does a safe sleep baby education for our moms, and they receive a free pack and play crib through her. And we also do the car seat. safety classes through, I think, Mercy. They come out, provide the educational classes, and then they were able to receive a free car seat class. And so those are just some of the things that we do. We have other types of support as well, whether it be breastfeeding. We just got a bunch of free Medela things they usually send to us, ship out to us. And those things, people can't always afford nursing pads and the bags for those that are breastfeeding, the breast milk storage bags and things of that sort. And even if they have them, a lot of times they may run out. So those are the things that we might have in our office that we can, give to our moms for just showing up to, meeting with their pregnancy coach. Because it's a commitment. And like I said, you have to see your pregnancy coach every week. You, at the minimum, you need to at least have 2 face-to-faces with her and 2 phone calls per month. And so we had to shift during COVID and do that virtually. But we realized that, especially when we first shifted into this, that we would need to do more phone calls. And so that our moms can have a sense, again, of that community. We're doing Zoom, face-to-face, and then additional phone calls. And, right now is a really delicate time because we know that some moms are home, they're isolated, and they may have other children at home and they're not getting that break that they may have been able to have before. We also realize that there's some moms that are home with abusers. And whatever that abuse may be, is still abuse. And this is the time that's can be very hard for families, especially when you're being abused, because you don't have that escape from that environment. That person is locked in with you. So we had a sense that we needed to pick up those phone calls just a little bit more. And the pregnancy coaches are great about managing their caseloads. And some of those women, it's a daily call because of the need and what might be going on in her life. And others, it might be that, that minimum of that 1 or 2 calls. But they balance out based on the mom's needs. And our job is, as managers, is to make it more flexible for our staff to be able to do the job that they need to do.
Right on. So let's look at a minute with this housing during the COVID period. How are Black moms faring with the housing issue? Because everybody, we know housing is an issue in Sacramento. So how is that impacted by COVID when people have a stay inside order? And we know housing is an issue, shelter is an issue. Any trends?
We had, when this broke out, I want to say we had maybe 2 moms that were actually out on the street.
Yeah.
They were able to get housing. One is actually in a mobile home. And I don't remember what happened with the other one. I can't remember what was going on with her. But the thing was to figure out how each organization had shifted during COVID. And most of applications for things is online, and you can still apply for services online. They're not doing necessarily face-to-face, but you may have some paperwork that gets signed, mailed out to you, you fill out and turn it back in. So what makes it harder, I think, for moms is they don't have that live person to really talk to. It's been harder to talk to people that are providing services. So a lot of it is through email, internet, and thankfully a lot of our moms have phones, so they can make phone calls and all of that, and have access to internet that way. But the moms are, most of them have gotten off, if they were on the street, they're off the street, right? They're at least with a family member. They're, one young lady was out sleeping in her car. Leon, I think that was one of your ladies. She was in her car, and so she was able to then get, go in after she had her baby and is now staying with a family member. So it's still the same. I mean,
Housing is just an issue.
it's still an issue in Sacramento. And it was just adjusting to figure out what's the new way of accessing those services. And so we spent a lot of time figuring out how to access those services so we can better guide those moms through the process.
Right on, right on. What about the mental health piece? So sometimes we look at health and it's like, oh, is the baby okay? Go to your checkup. But what about the mental health piece? Is there any trends with Black moms and pregnancies around mental health?
I would say yes. And so we have a connection. We send our ladies to WellSpace to see African-American counselor. I just feel like they have to be able to express and talk about things. And I know for a fact, I know that there are people that we can refer people to. We may say your name. Hey, go see Rose. She'll help you get through this or work it out. Hey, go see Alondra. And a lot of our people are so close in, they don't want to talk about certain things because they don't want to be judged. It's like if I tell you I did X, Y, and Z, you're just going to hold it against me. So I'm not going to say anything. But I think if they're able to express the true feelings and what's going on in their lives, they can do better.
Right on.
I think it's that old wise tale, keep in your house what, you don't air your dirty laundry out. We still have some of that mentality. And because the system hasn't been fair to us, there's a distrust. And so if you're going in and you spilling, to someone what you've experienced and what challenges you have, and whether you've been right or wrong in those things, there may be some wrong that you are doing, and you tell somebody, then CPS is at your door. So there's a fear still about opening up and sharing what your experience is. Right. And so that's where Mommy Mingle and these pregnancy coaches come in. It's so critical because when we look at our annual reports, we look at how moms came in and some of the data that we collect and look at. We do an assessment when moms initially enter services, and then we'll do another one during exit. And most of our moms come in with anxiety and depression. I would say most of them. Mm-hmm. And as they exit, we see that it's gone. Well, we know that a lot of the anxiety and depression that a lot of our moms are experiencing are situational. It's, if I'm, not having prenatal care, if I got food insecurities, I don't have transportation, if CPS is already in my life and I got all these classes I got to go do or whatever else is going on, and I have very limited resources to accomplish those things, then my stress is going to be a lot higher and I'm going to feel defeated before I even start, trying to address it. So a lot of those moms will just, bury themselves in it by not addressing it. And what we are good about is figuring out what those things are and bring them to surface and start tackling them one at a time to not overwhelm the mom, but it's to figure out and have a plan for, if she's homeless and on the street. And plus she really do have some mental health challenges, mm-hmm. and food insecurities or whatever it is connecting the dots kind of slowly and build that mom up over time. And there's a trust factor that has to fold into that. She has to be comfortable with her pregnancy coach. She has to trust her. And most of the women that enter into services with us, they don't necessarily know what they're getting ready to get into. But by the time they have sat down with their pregnancy coach a couple of times, those walls kind of come down. And then she knows that we have her best interests, and that we want to see her succeed, and we want to see her baby be born and her baby thrive. And so let's get her in the best position to do that and deal with the things that she's most interested in. If she want to go back to school, and then let's figure out the path to that. And we're going to do that together. It don't have to be, you're not in it alone is just what I'm trying to say.
Well, one of the things I did do in the comments, I did share your information with Her Health First, the phone number, the email, where they can get in touch with you and Leona. Is there anything you all do to help the mom plan for her future? Like, I don't want to say family planning, but something like, and not family planning in terms of just getting the IUD or whatever. I'm talking about in terms of saving money to buy a house, your kids' education, your education, having a savings account. Do y'all do anything around that?
Absolutely. And I think about it brings us back. And each pregnancy coach will do that individually. So if a mom's goal is to go back to school or she's looking for a job or whatever, we definitely have our eyes open to that and direct the moms in those paths. We have hired a lot of our clients. We've had 3 clients that actually were participants of our program that we then turned around and hired them. So employment is, we know, important in order to take care of your family. And so whether it's with us or another agency, we want to make sure that we connect those dots. But there's other resources throughout the community. We can't do nothing without our community as well. And so there's businesses that provide those type of soft skill training, resume writing. And I'm thinking about Lisa Miller with Pivot. She is in the building where we're housed. And we quite often refer not only our young moms, but the dads that are attached to these moms. Because again, we're looking at the whole family, a unit, not just the mom and her pregnancy. You're dealing with the mom's life. And so if he's attached to life, then there's some things that have to also be addressed with him. And so, we absolutely will connect those moms to those services and to get training or further their education. And Leona has a young mom that she's been pushing during her pregnancy, and the young lady just wrote a book. I'll let Leona tell you about her book.
Yes, she wrote, shout out to her, Bria. She wrote a book. She had a vision, and when I would talk with her, she'd tell me she was a full-time student. And she also was a full-time mom, but she completed the book. It's called I Have Shit to Do. And it's a plant-based cookbook.
I love it.
Yes, plant-based cookbook. And so I'm excited once we go back into work, she's going to come and give a cooking demonstration, because I feel like she didn't just stop. She knew what she wanted to do, and she fulfilled it. She didn't let me I would see her on Facebook, and she said, dang, I got to get up early in the morning. I got to go to my class, then I got to do this. And then she still had to be a mama to her baby. But she completed everything that she said she wanted to do. And I know she has other plans to do some other stuff, and I know she can do it. She has all the things. She has the tools to do it, should I say. She has all the tools that she needs. But I think, like when you said about housing, Rolanda, like, housing is such an issue, but there are a lot of places. And so that's where we try to connect our moms. 211, go sign up on 211. The list may seem long. It's okay. Don't get discouraged because the list is long. Get on that list, and you never know how fast that list may go. But we just always have to remember, we just need to support and connect all the dots. And I think that's what we do in our office. And I think that's why people love to come to us, because they can just be their self. They can just sit down and just be themselves. They don't have to be like this preppy person like, I don't have a college degree. You don't need a college degree to be somebody. Just be who you are. Be who God made you to be.
Right on. It sounds a lot like I asked a question earlier, like what's going on with Black women during pregnancy, that we would need special programs designed to help them. And I think when we try to lump everybody in, like this of color word is very deadly, because it allows to skate over what happens specifically to Black women historically and today, because today was built off of yesterday. So I love your work. I shared your information. What kind of things would you want us to know to help Black women and girls have better birth outcomes and to feel good during their pregnancy? What can we do as community?
Yeah, I would start with just saying anybody that is pregnant needs to reach out for services immediately. And I know that when you first become pregnant, it's you're trying to figure out, where am I getting care at? What's, am I even pregnant? So that first trimester goes very fast, and a lot of those moms are just trying to figure out what's what, right? And am I pregnant? Who do I go to? And what services are out there? But as soon as they know, they need to get into care as soon as possible and then reach out for services. Just about every, and especially if you have Medi-Cal, every Medi-Cal office in Sacramento has the CPSP program. And they have services that they're supposed to be offering. And so that is her linkage to resources. And sometimes we just don't get that information when we walk in the door. And so do your own homework, look for those resources out there and get connected to something. Because it's out there. Black Infant Health is out there. There's the Black Child Legacy Campaign. There's, of course, us. There are services out there that you can get connected to. You just gotta do your own little legwork. And once you're connected, you're in. And, and all those services will then kind of unfold to you as your pregnancy proceeds. And so you got to get connected to something. Don't just be out there with the unknown and not knowing what to do. Get connected.
Right on.
I would say as the Black community come together as sisters, like come together, get a group of women come together, like back in the days, come together and support these young moms. This may not be your daughter. This may not be your granddaughter, but this young lady may need something that you have.
Right.
And it's not always about money. You might not know how to do a resume. You may know how to sew. Young lady may need to know how to cook. We come together and just educate them and hold them and lift them up. Rolanda, you do it every day with the young moms that you work with, the young ladies that you work with. I love how you operate and just be there for the women. You don't let nobody tear you down. And that's what we need. Like, these women have made mistakes. It may not even be a mistake. They just took the wrong path. Stop judging. Just coming together.
Right on.
And that's also a misconception, because not everybody that enters our services is down and out and broken and all of this. We serve everybody. That is, if you identify as African American, the door is open to you, and you're pregnant and you get in before 32, by 32 weeks, we provide that service. But we do additional things too. I provide a childbirth class. It's a 4-series class where we cover everything from third trimester to pregnancy, to comfort measures, to postpartum, to breastfeeding. And it's again, just some additional information that moms need, because childbirth classes aren't accessible. They're expensive, there's some time constraints. Moms don't always have the availability or the transportation or the money to go to a childbirth class. And so I'm offering that free, and that's open to the community. So, those are just additional things that we know that moms need that can help them be better successful in their pregnancy and with their parenting. Every time that we have any kind of group, we considering the family. So it's not always that have to do about pregnancy. It may be someone coming to talk to their partners. We did a Father's Day event one time. And for those moms, we realized that there was a lot of dads that were attached to moms, and we wanted to acknowledge those dads. And so we put on something for the dads one time. So it's dealing with the family and trying to address a lot of those stressors that we know are going to affect the mom. And how do we educate her so that there's some awareness of things that she may not be aware of, and get her the support and connection that she needs.
Right on. Family, if you're listening, the website is herhealthfirst.org. The number is 916-558-4812. If you want to email them, it's info@herhealthfirst.org. That's where you can reach out to Kenya and Leona or whoever picks up the line.
Right.
Definitely need your support so that we can continue to support and do the work to make sure new life comes for our community and that Black women have healthy, happy, supportive, positive pregnancies.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all so much. When you get a moment, go back and look at these comments because there's questions in here for y'all. But I just try to get it out the way. So thank y'all so much. So just hold the line. Let me just wrap this up. All right, family. I shall see you all back at 11 o'clock for the next show. All right. Peace and blessings. All right. Don't forget, you can support us by going to YouTube and supporting the Earth Mama Healing Network by clicking the subscribe button. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope. Have a good day, people.